Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's discussion on wealth creation and management. Today's discussion would focus mainly on financial planning, and I'm going to do that using the acronym ACTS. A for acquisition of the wealth, C for consumption for sustenance, T for transformation of the wealth, and S, service to humanity. Let's delve right into it. Under acquisition, for purposes of simplicity, I will select three categories of people and put them in three different lanes for this discussion. These are, number one, the self-employed, number two, the corporate employee, number three, the entrepreneur. Amongst these three people, it is the self-employed who would have a head start in their wealth acquisition journey, followed by the entrepreneur and the corporate employee. This is because in the initial stages, the business is so simple for the self-employed and all the revenue would accrue to him. The entrepreneur would have faced some teething problems in the initial stages, and hence his profits would be low. In the case of the corporate employee, he will be low down the corporate ladder, and hence his earnings will be low. However, as they progress in nearing retirement, you would realize that the entrepreneur would have amassed far more wealth than all of them because he would feed on bigger profits. The corporate employee would follow next because he would have risen through the corporate ladder and his earnings and emoluments would have increased significantly. In the case of the self-employed, he wouldn't have been able to expand the business any much, so his earnings would still be small. It is worth noting that one does not necessarily need to stay in one particular lane throughout his working life. You can decide to combine lanes or switch lanes. For example, a corporate employee can decide to have a side business to run, and that would mean that he's combining the lanes of a corporate employee and that of an entrepreneur. In the case of the self-employed, he can decide to expand the business and hand it over to professionals to run it. That would mean that he is switching from the lane of the self-employed to an entrepreneur. Very, very important. The next one is consumption for sustenance. This simply talks about your income and expenditure. So the policy or the principle that I will talk about here is the Latin expression that says nemo dat non quod habet, which simply means one cannot give what he does not have. I'm implying that you cannot spend what you don't have. If you do that, what will happen is you will be heavily indebted. And if you don't take care, you may go bankrupt. In case you are heavily indebted and you're looking for ways to come out of it, do not despair at all. I have some strategies to help you. Number one, deal with the debts that are the biggest first. Number two, deal with the highest interest ones. Number three, do not pile on the debts. Number four, pay off your credit card expenses regularly. And number five, sell off your bad assets for cash. Remember that as you consume part of your wealth, consume them on good assets. For good assets are the assets that would enhance your value. And the bad assets are the assets that would diminish your value. Very, very important. In terms of transformation of the wealth, I'm talking about investments. There are a myriad of reasons why one would want to invest. Number one, it will give you interest income. Number two, it will give you a comfortable retirement. Number three, it will give you some monies available to use when you need it. Number four, it will give you an opportunity to pursue your long-term objectives. Remember though that when it comes to investment, time is of the essence. So you need to start early and encourage your children to do same. It is important. In terms of service to humanity, as we go about acquiring our wealth, it is important to do an act of kindness to the less privileged in society and the needy, for it will bring a greater purpose to our wealth. Remember to leave in place an inheritance for your children, to give them a head start in life. Do not forget to put in place a will to ensure a smooth allocation of your resources when you are no more one day. Thank you very much, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button.